Old guy here. Today we're talking about the seats in your car, the seat bolsters. We have some on the side and we have them beside each leg. Now the sportier the car, the higher the bolsters. And some cars that are just luxury models and they don't have any bolster at all. The nice thing about bolsters is when you're driving, it kind of keeps you planted in your seat and prevents you from sliding off. I come from an era when we had bench seats, no seat belts, and you just could slide all over the place. So anyway, the buckets now on the sportier cars have bolsters. Problem with the bolsters is anybody, if you've ever seen an ad for somebody selling a set of seats, let's take a BMW or maybe an R32 or a Porsche, and these seats have high bolsters. If they're, let's say they're parting out the car and they're selling the seats, one thing they always say in the ad is it has the normal bolster wear. You don't have to have the normal bolster wear. And I'm going to show you my method, whether it's the perfect one or not, for getting in the car and it's saving the side bolster down here, and the back bolster on this side. It's basically the side bolster if you're the driver, or the passenger side is the bolster when you get in the car. Since I don't have a bolster that's totally fallen apart, we're gonna go to the junkyard, look at a few cars, and I can show you what I mean about worn out bolsters. Now this is a car with less of a bolster, but as you can see, this is all cracked from somebody putting their fanny on it. This is a vinyl seat, and then you have the bolster on the side that's damaged. Now this is one of the reasons I get in my seats the way I do, to save the bolsters. So here we are at the junkyard. Now this is a seat with a little higher bolster than the other car we looked at, but as you can see, this is all squashed down and wrinkled. And this part of the seat here is worn out, cracked. Let's see if we can get a little bit better shot of that. I don't know if I can get it or not. A lot of sunlight out here. Here we go. We'll do it this way. You can see here that, it's worn out from people sliding into their seat and crushing this down. Also, this is leather. It's all cracked, probably dried out. Another reason I don't like leather seats. It's also cracked in the seat. Well, this one gives a little bit better light. As you can see, the bolster is worn here where people slide across it, gradually wearing it out. Now this one isn't too bad as far as the bottom bolster goes, but as you can see, comparing it to the other side, it's quite worn. So first off, this is my 33-year-old Audi. I'm going to show you how you get in and out of it. Is it perfect? No, there's a little bit of rubbing here, but not much. This is cracked a little. But for 33 years old, I think this leather's in pretty good shape. So what do you do now? This is up on a lift, so it's a little bit higher than a car would be on the ground, so it might be a little harder to get in and out of. I am an old guy. So what you do is you put a foot in, okay? Then you turn and you put your hand right here. This is where you rub, okay? And now you don't sit on the bolster. You put your leg back as far as you can in here. That way you're not putting your butt on this and swinging your arms around. So that's how I get in. Now to get out, I do something very similar. Now remember, this is a little farther off the ground, so my leg. Anyway, you put your hand, you swing your leg out, you grab your door, you put your hand, see, I'm not on this part of the bolster. I'm at the rear, which is the smallest part of the bolster. You put your hand on here so you don't rub it getting out, and you pull yourself out by the corner of the door. You're not rubbing against here and here. You're not crushing that. That's why the cracks are back in here. Not cracks, but worn area is back in here. You put your leg in here, you put your hand on here, and you get in the car. Actually, I got a little stitching going away right there. Huh. Well, 33 years. And this hasn't been treated lately. Anyway, the next car up will be my VW Jetta. Okay, so I had to tilt down the camera a little bit so I wouldn't get background lighting, so this would be lit up a little better. So this is how I get in this car. Now this car isn't sitting on lift, so it would be a little bit easier. So again, you put your foot in, you swing your body, you put your hand right here, okay? And when you get in, you're rubbing against your hand instead of the bolster. And then again, you don't put your fanny here, you put your leg back here, and then you swing in the car. And you don't compress this, and you don't compress this. So you're eliminating two of the problems that you saw in the junkyard. This flattened out, and this all rubbed raw. When you go to get out, same thing. You put your hand here, you swing your leg, so you're on this part of the bolster. You put your hand on the door, you put your hand here so you make sure you're not gliding over the seat, and you get out of the car. These are my thoughts. This is how I get in and out of my car. You don't have to.